NerdyGamer here, and today we are once again playing Kerbal's space program. So, this is the third time I've been trying to record this episode. So the first time I tried to do a mission but it didn't go well, so I decided to stop. And the second time it did go successfully, but I discovered that the record button wasn't on. So let's first of all go to the tracking station, because I've got something to show you. So as you can see here, we have a satellite. Yes, I put a satellite into orbit. It's called Odyssey 1. Now, I was supposed to put this thing into orbit in the episode that I wanted to record, but that was when I discovered when the record button wasn't on. So basically, this is Odyssey 1. You can see, you might be thinking, hey, why do you have a parachute on this thing? Well, basically, I was trying to do something called a recovery probe. Now, if you don't know what this is, so basically a recovery probe is a probe attached to a rocket stage, and when it has been in space long enough, it's deorbited, it comes down in the ocean, and then this parachute is activated. So I had left this thing on from the mission before. So this is it, Odyssey 1. Look at that. So as you can see, we have this antenna, we have the batteries. So this is really a basic probe. So you have the antennas, you have the you have two thermometers designed to record scientific information. You have, of course, the batteries, which are supposed to keep the probe alive. So, as you can see here, when you look at the resources, electric charge, this thing has plenty electric charge. It has a lot of electric charge. As you can see here, it's running. As you can see here, it's slowly draining. So, we are going to keep this thing in orbit until the batteries are So we're basically going to keep this thing in orbit until the batteries have drained. That's all. So let's now build our second probe, because we need as much science as possible. Okay, so this is basically the rocket that I used to launch Odyssey 1. It has two stages. It basically has a lower stage with two solid fuel boosters, and it has a it has an upper stage with a big engine. So that's pretty much it. And the probe is on top. So the probe is decoupled this way. Yeah, so that's pretty much the entire rocket. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this piece off. We're gonna remove this antenna. Nope. You know what? We're gonna keep this thing on. Control Z. Let's remove that thing. We're gonna take off the parachute. There we go. And then put the antennas much higher up. So like this, yeah. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a science bay below this. So we have this science bay. Oh, I know where I'm gonna attach these. So yeah, we're gonna have these 4 antennas on the side. And, yeah, that is pretty much all the scientific equipment on here. We might be able to add 2 extra mystery goo containers. Hopefully they're useful. We place them right here. And there we go. Let's, and this rocket is gonna be Odyssey 2. Okay, staging is correct. Oh yeah, I forgot. I have to upgrade this. Upgrade the launch pad. That will be useful. So let's launch this thing. Oh wait a second, I have to do a bit more. Wait a second, I think I forgot something. Yeah, I can see it here. The boosters aren't placed correctly. So for some reason, the boosters are not in the correct position. They have not been placed correctly. Okay, so that was a little problem that I had with the previous ship, was that for some reason the rocket was starting to turn, and I thought, why is that? Well, it's because the boosters haven't been placed properly. So let's finally launch the thing. Of course, what I have to tell you is that with this probe core, this only probe core, you cannot engage SAS. So if you press T, it says this: Odyssey 2 has no operational SAS modules, and no pilots aboard no pilots cannot engage SAS. So you have to control this rocket manually. There we go. So we're just heading up and waiting until we get into orbit. That's everything. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Come on, turn back, turn back, turn back. There we go. There we go. Oh, I don't want to screw this up. Nate, no, 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 no. Not this, not this. There we go. There we go. There we go. We gotta wait until this thing is 70,000, 70,000 up. If it runs out, it's not bad. So just wait for this thing to run out of fuel. So basically get up to 70. Okay. So that is detached. Let's see. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay. Let's deploy the engine for a second. Oh, there we go. Come on. Come on. Oh Jesus Christ, this thing is hard to turn. Let's boost this thing up a bit. We've already lost half of our fuel. Let's just have this thing spin around for a second. There we go. When we are at, we're supposed to stabilize when we're in space. I hope this thing is finally gonna work. I have no idea if it is going to. So we don't have a lot of fuel, so I want to keep the thrust as low as possible. Maybe we can turn it around as well. There we go. Let's keep it centered. Keep it on your prograde vector. So this is the prograde vector. And this one shows that you're going forward, as I said in previous episodes. So when you're getting into orbit, I recommend keeping this, which shows the position of the spacecraft, keeping it inside the prograde vector. Let's see, are we in orbit? And we are in orbit, guys! Yay! Basically, you might be thinking, why did I deploy this? Well, because the decoupler is so big, it gives a lot of force. And if your rocket doesn't reach orbit, you can try to use the decoupler to give it an extra boost. And in this case, it pushed me into an orbit, which is very useful. Okay, so let's change the camera for a second. So put it in so put the camera in free mode. You can press the V button on your keyboard to change the camera mode. And here we are. This thing is active. Observe materials bay. 25 science. Let's keep the data, and we're gonna need to transmit it. Oh, wait a second. Let's do all the science. All that science. Okay, so this is the only useful science we have. So let's transmit all the data. So we might lose a lot of batteries. And all the data has been successfully uploaded. And Odyssey 2 is in space. So, look at this. It's pretty beautiful. Let's close the doors. This is it. So, I want to explain a bit more about the probes. So, the reason why you have to put batteries on your probe is because, as you can see, the Probodobodyne Stay Putnik, this is what this probe is called, has an electric charge of 10 watts, I think. So, you have to put these batteries on, because if you wouldn't put these batteries on, if you don't put these batteries onto the craft, and you start transmitting scientific data, it will run out of electric charge before you transmit all the data. This was something I discovered when I first put a probe into orbit, so this is partially also something that I experienced. And so you have to put batteries on your probe at least. And let's go back to the space center. So 26 science, that's what we got. We got a low budget. We have to complete contracts, otherwise we'll lose money. I don't want that. So let's gather science. We need science, otherwise we're not gonna get anywhere. So let's not launch this thing, so let's just open it up on the pad. Let's see how that goes. So as I can remember, we haven't tested the temperature yet on the launch pad. 31. Still not enough. We need we have to start making choices here. I want advanced rocketry. We desperately need that. Let's go to the administration building. So this is basically the administration building. If you don't know what this is, basically you can You can start programs or campaigns here which grant you money, which grant you money, science, improve your relations, or other stuff. We need a fundraising campaign. Yes, I want to activate it. We need a fundraising campaign. So what do we currently have in orbit? Well, we have 2 satellites into orbit. Not yet human. And if we zoom out, we see the rest of the solar system. So as I said in episode 2, we can explore all of these planets. So let's select where we will go to. Oh, sorry. Wait a second. Sorry about that. Okay, so, yeah. So, one of my final objectives is to send Kerbals to Duna. So let's click on Duna. I'm having a cold here. So this is basically Duna. So this is Duna. This is the Kerbal version of Mars. As you can see, it's very similar to Mars. The ice caps are much bigger though. And we also have its moon, Ike. Now, if you want to do a manned mission to another planet, Duna is the place you want to go to. But we aren't that far currently right now. So let's zoom out. Bye bye Duna. So let's start with the next objective. What are we gonna do? Put our first Kerbal into orbit. So we're basically just gonna use the so we are just going to use the rocket that we used before. We're gonna take Odyssey 2 and I'm gonna take the capsule, adding the parachute and the heat shield. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let's put our first man into orbit. So we need a new program. I want a catchy name. What is a catchy name? I get it. Project Infinity. What about Infinity? Infinity. This is Infinity 1. And let's recruit a new Kerbal. Go to the astronaut complex. So in the astronaut complex, you can recruit new Kerbals. So you have a list of Kerbals here. As you can see, we have a lot of pilots. Scientists are not yet necessary. I recommend choosing a pilot with a lot of courage and not a lot of stupidity. So what about Yorley Kerman? Nah, shit, we don't have enough funds. So we are gonna put Jebediah Kerman into orbit. Jebediah Kerman is about to make history and is about to become the first Kerbal into space. So basically what I want to do is I want to use the probes for the scientific stuff to discover all the scientific stuff, and let's just have the Kerbals do crew reports. As you can see here, you can right click and do the crew report. And now we're basically going to keep it that way for now. So let's launch Infinity 1. There we go. And let's wait for this thing to get into space. Now when it reaches 70,000 meters, you gotta turn all the way 90 degrees. Look how this is a risky move with a long rocket. There we go. 70. Okay, there we go. Slowly to the 90 degrees. Slowly go on a 90 degree angle. Slowly. There we go. Like that. So you want to make it as curved as possible, because that will make it less difficult for the second stage here to push you into orbit. Everybody wants to get into orbit as fast as possible. So when you get less and less fuel, I recommend throttling down using control. And we are in orbit. And we have fuel to spare. Let's turn this thing around for a second. We're not gonna stay in orbit for that long. We're just gonna... yeah. Oh, we can't EVA yet. Oh, that's a thing we need to work on. I haven't played career mode like this for a long time. When you want to get out of orbit, so we have managed to get into orbit. As I remember, you gotta go to the 90 degrees angle, put your rocket here, be very fuel efficient with this stage. You have to be very fuel efficient with this stage. So once above 70, you go to 90 degrees. I'm repeating things here. So once you get to 70, You go to 90 degrees, you activate the engine and burn as long as possible. Then you detach the stage. You might want to accelerate a bit to get away from the detached stage. You wait until you're into space, then you fire the engine to get up. Then you wait until you're at your highest point, then you fire a second time, and then if you did things correctly, you are in orbit. So to get out of orbit, you get onto this vector here. I don't know exactly what the name is, you might have to search it up, but it's the opposite of the prograde vector. This basically shows, so if you do this here, you're decelerating, you're decreasing your speed. So let's get into the middle of this one, and fire as long as possible. There we go. Extra force. I don't know if this is the best spot, but I hope so. There we go. Hopefully this works. Please tell me this works. And this is why I want to land in the ocean. Oh. Oh my god. Are you shitting me? I'm back again. Once again doing the re-entry. And here we go. Let's not screw it up this time. And there the lower stage went. We can safely deploy the parachute now. And we did it. We did it. We put our first Kerbal ever into orbit. So that was the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time. Bye.